Jen, and today on the Grace-Filled and Graceful podcast, I'm doing something new. This is different. This is new and this is different. And so I wanted to welcome our audience watching us from the YouTube, watching us from the YouTube live. Today, I'm actually doing not only the podcast, but I'm also going live on YouTube as a way to multitask. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. But welcome to our friends over at YouTube that are watching the program that I'm using to stream live into YouTube and record this podcast. It has you like okay something before you make a comment. You are asked if it's okay that YouTube shows me your name. So if you make a comment on YouTube, I can see it, but I can't see who made the comment unless you okay. So as we're going through our live, our very first live podcast, I invite you to comment, to ask questions, anything like that. Now, I am doing this podcast as well. The YouTube live version will more than likely be longer than the podcast will turn out to be, but I wanted to give it some extra oomph and some extra feels so that you can um, experience this with us live. Okay, so today this is going to be number 4, podcast 4, and we're practicing live this time. I'm going to be announcing when we do lives in our Facebook group, Grace Filled and Graceful, at a later date, but I just wanted to get the flow of it, get the idea of what it feels like to go live on a podcast. Today, podcast number 4, we are talking about having more will not satisfy your soul, being more will make your soul sing. So, welcome to the podcast. I have been having a really great time with these podcasts. The editing is not my favorite, but as far as getting this out there to you, it's been a real joy to put together. And so, as you're building your online business and you are getting your information out to your perfect clients, it's really important that you find a method of getting that communication out that really makes your soul sing, so that you are enjoying the process of growing your online business. So, like I said, welcome. We're doing something new, like I said, with the live teach. Um, the reason why I decided to do this is that I learned recently how to be more and do less. And aren't we excited about doing less? I mean, look at this. My calendar for today. This is where I schedule like things that I need to go out and do, like appointments and stuff. And these are like my to-do list. And then this is my to-do list for the week. Okay, so we have to-do lists. They're long. So anytime that we can do less, it's almost like a win. Anyway, so I had the opportunity of speaking with a wonderful lady through my I'm part of I guess you could call it a mastermind, and through Kelly. Now I'm forgetting her last name. This is the Joy of Live, Kelly Brock, and I'll put all this in the show notes. But I am part of um, her peace posse, I guess is what she calls it, and love the things that Kelly's teaching and the really amazing women that she brings to us. Anyways, one of the speakers, and I will get you her name and information too and put it on the show notes, talked to us recently about doing one thing and then as far as communicating what you have for your podcast listeners, or sorry, communicating what you have for your people that you're serving, and then doing one thing and then cutting it up and repurposing it so that just doing it once, you now have a blog, a all of your posts for social media. You have your small group information. You have your podcast. You have so just doing it once and then cutting it up so that you are doing less doing. Does that make sense? So I'm excited to try it out. This is my first time, and getting the podcast live is going to be completely different than getting it all edited. So this is going to be fun and I'm going to learn a lot. So I'm excited to jump in. So let's talk about the title. Okay, what we're going to be talking about today is the trouble with more. The trouble with more. And today I'm going to be covering several subtitles, I guess you could call it. Lies in my life, the seeing the pattern of believing the lies, all about more. Okay, making more and what does it look like? Sorry, being more and what does it look like? And then we're going to wrap up with confidence, some vocabulary words, helping my daughter with her vocabulary. This is kind of coming. The mommy and me is coming out. So vocabulary words. We're actually going to focus on eliminating, and then a really big question at the end that'll lead to next week's podcast. So I want to start by saying that I believe this. I believe that I'm not the only one feeling the things that I'm feeling. The shame is what holds people back from speaking and encouraging. And if I can do nothing else for you on my platform, I want to encourage you. You are not alone. We live in the same world. You and I are much more similar than we are different. And we can do this together. So I really believe that we have been sold a bill of goods. If we do more, if we do it just like this, then we can have what we want. That is not the truth. From my standpoint, and I'll go over this a little bit later, I did what I was supposed to do in many instances, and it never brought me the satisfaction that I was looking for. Like I said, it's not the truth. Just because we follow the rules that someone used to seemingly win their game, the game that they were playing, their rules helped them win their game. Just because we follow that person's rules doesn't mean that we're going to get the same result. In fact, I think it does more to mess with us than it does getting us closer to a result that we want. So the question is, and you could probably agree with this, is what is it exactly that we want? We might want a business that succeeds. We might want to be looked up to. We might want um, to be able to employ a lot of people. We there's just a bunch of mess when it comes to the what do you want. And I don't know about you, but whenever I have really focused on what do I want, more and more I want a feeling than I want stuff. Now I have a goal poster over here and it has a bunch of pictures of stuff that I would like for either myself or to be able to purchase for somebody else. But going deeper than that, what is it that we want? And is what we want in alignment with who we are? And when we follow that, what we want, plus in alignment with who we are, how and will we even be able to find joy in the process? Because where we are now, would you not agree, is more than likely not where we want to be. Okay. So I want to use an example of this. If you haven't been able to visualize this for yourself. My daughter came home yesterday from fifth grade, and she said that those people in PE who are able to jump rope for a minute without stopping will be part of a club. That's all the information I got. And so she spent hours trying to jump for a minute. And whether it was um, coordination, the jump rope wasn't long enough, whether it was her jump rope hit something, what if it wasn't like cardiovascularly, she couldn't make it a minute. She was realizing that at this point, without having any time to prepare, she might not be able just to jump in there and jump for a minute without stopping. Now, there were people in her PE class that could do that, and they did it the first try. So what exactly was it that she wanted? She wanted to be able to do it so that she could be part of this club. I have to ask the teacher what exactly is going on with this club. But because I didn't know anything about it. But and is it in alignment with who she is currently, since she hadn't done any uh practice at this? She couldn't just pick up a jump rope and be a superstar and hit the goal. And she, needless to say, she wasn't finding any joy in the process. Now, if she wanted to be able to jump a minute and she had a month to practice and she was willing to practice and have fun practicing and learn each step of the way, then she probably could have done it. But knowing exactly what it is that we want, plus in alignment with who we are, and will we be finding joy in the process? That option wasn't given to her. And she probably would have had a much better outcome if those things. So I was explaining to her that she was where she is and other people are where they are, and there was no joy in the process because she didn't have time to process it. So what are you willing to admit might go wrong? If you're in this journey, you know what you want, you're in alignment with who you are, you're finding joy in the process. Are you willing, the next step is to admit that you might be wrong in where it is that you want to go? And then knowing, will you be thankful when you get to where you're actually going to end up? And we're gonna wrap that thought up at the end when we talk about confidence. The problem is that it's not quantitative. When is it enough? When will our souls be satisfied? Wanting more is kind of giving the boot to gratefulness with what you have. When you're grateful for something, don't you treat it differently? And this is what I say to my kids when they say, I want more Legos. I say, all the Legos you have are in the toy box and you never play with them. Well, why am I going to spend $100 on that big box of Legos if you're not going to put them together and play with them? Right? Are you grateful for what you already have? And how can you tell if you're grateful? How do you treat it differently? When you're grateful for something, you treat it differently. I just learned this. This is kind of in the um, quantum zone here, but the fact that we all have energy, we emit energy, and I thought that love was the highest frequency, highest energy waves. I thought love was. I just learned from my friend Renee, and I'll put her information at the bottom too, because she does a lot of stuff with self hypnosis, and she would be really helpful for you to know. But she taught me that higher than the frequency of love is gratitude. So I guess the bottom line is do we want to spend our entire life chasing more clothes, more stuff, more experiences, more recognition, more? And while believe that our world is a world of abundance, that there is more available to us than what we could ever use, there is enough for everybody, more than enough to share and to spare for everybody. I think what we are, we're focused on the wrong issue here. So let's get down to it. Our world's focus is on more. And the lie that we should want more, that we need more, that we're not enough, that what we have is not enough, that what we have is not good enough. And this starts when I was preparing for this podcast, I thought backwards. I thought, okay, when did this start? I mean, it starts when you're tiny, 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 based on survival, basically. The fear and lack mindset. What do we do when we're hungry? We get upset about it because survival, right? it comes from a headspace of panic, of lack, of survival, of not thriving, but surviving. And our world focuses on that. It focuses on the fact that our brains react to this. It plays basically to the earth plays the earth. The world plays to the emotions of a 3-year-old. 3-year-old. So I thought it would be funny to share some of the lies I believed growing up, because I can remember having these thoughts, and they made perfect sense at the time, right? And maybe you can relate a little bit. I believed that my Barbies needed that extra vanity set, that my Barbies weren't happy Barbies unless they had that Corvette. Or, let me just get this Palomino horse for my Barbies, and I would be all set in the world of my friends with the Barbies and you know, that comes all in with fitting in. Fitting in is a survival. It's a survival thing. Okay, here's the next one. That beautiful model on the commercial selling Strawberry Suave shampoo from 1974 or whatever would make my hair prettier. And what would that make me? That would make me more valuable, more liked. Um, Makeup would make me more grown up. Oh my goodness, talk about craziness. There's the dog barking. There is the vacuums going, and now the bug man is in the backyard spraying for mosquitoes. Okay, I'll do my best to talk directly into the microphone so you can hear me. Makeup would make me look more grown up, so that I would be more accepted by my peers or people older than me. People that I looked up to in fifth grade. I'm thinking specifically about. I think I was in maybe fourth grade, and I wore makeup to school. No, 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 no. I couldn't wear makeup to school, so I put it on when I got to school. And this girl that I really looked up to, her name was Jennifer Lamb. She walked into the bathroom while I was putting on blush, and she made some comment about how it looked pretty. And I just felt like, oh, she noticed me. Oh. And then I washed it off before I went home. And she walked into the bathroom that day while I was washing it off. And she was like, didn't you just put that on? And my heart was broken. Okay, that's about fitting in. Okay, so that's survival. These particular shoes will make you run faster. Didn't we, when we were young, we put on our new tennis shoes and we would zoom around the house. Mom, don't I look like I run faster? It's true. Which would make us looked up to, would make us feel more important. Okay, how about if you pay more for these clothes, people will like you more. Again, with fitting in with your peers. Any one of the bazillion lines about if a boy would like you more if you did these things. Fitting in again, being of value. I will be more valuable. This is when I grew up a little bit. This is so loud. I'm sorry. I can't cut it out on the live. Maybe I should do something else for the people live while it's noisy. What can I do for you guys? La 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 la. Because this won't be on the final one. What can I do? What do I have? Oh, here's something fun. This might be valuable to you. So in my desk, I keep some stuff, some tools that, you probably need. I have my powder and a brush to help with shine when I am on camera. That's right there in my drawer. I have my trusty red lipstick that I can put on to get cute. And now I have something for fall too. It's more autumn shade. Then what else do I have in here? Oh, I have everything for my nails, because inevitably while I'm doing something, I'm typing, I'm looking at my nails, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have a hangnail. Okay, so I got that. I also have clear nail polish in case something, I don't know what. But not just, scissors and paper clips. I have handy dandy tools that you might use. See, there's value in being live. You get some extra stuff in here. What's this? I have glasses case. And let's see, I'll put some of this on because we have a minute. Just for fall. Oh, watch, I'm probably crazy now. I don't even have my screen pulled up. Let's see how dark that is. Oh, that's not bad. Yeah. Spraying for mosquitoes. Spraying for mosquitoes. What else do I have around here that might be helpful to you? Oh, these bars I am in love with. They're called Bobo's Original Oat Bars, and they are delicious. I don't like overly sweet things. So when it comes to like most snacks that have sugar in them, it's usually overly sweet, and I can't do it. So this, it has less sugar in it, but you have to be careful because the information on the back talks about 170 calories, and that's for half a bar. I felt so good about this. I was eating it. I was like, this is a great snack. It's delicious. I love it. It goes great with my coffee. And then it has only under 70 calories. And my husband was like, oh no, that's just for half a bar. There's 2 servings in there. How would you ever think one package equals 2 servings? No, you want to finish the whole thing. Anyways, I think they're delicious and I love them. And they're great with coffee for my mid-morning snack or my second breakfast, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so the noise is starting to get lower. I've been putting oat milk in my coffee, and I actually like it quite a bit. So do you, what do you put in your coffee? What do you like? Because forever, from when I started drinking coffee, it was like cremora, like the powdered creamer. And then I just started to realize how bad that was for me. And, but I didn't like milk, and cream was all right, but I like this oat creamer stuff. But okay. Continuing on with some of the funny lies I believed. Let's see, where are they? Okay, so growing up, I wanted to be of value to my employer and show them that I was serious about what I was doing. So I would be more valuable if I worked more, or if I handed in perfect work. That's in school too. What, I didn't get 100? No, you got a 94. But 100 is perfect. You know what? Why? Why perfection? Okay, that's another lie we believe. Okay, then after some time, I hope that you're at this point in your life too. After some time, we start to realize that more isn't getting us anything. The hustle is getting us nothing but tired. Okay, it's definitely not making us happier. It's definitely not making us more fulfilled, and it's definitely not making us more satisfied. Chasing the more. Because remember, I got the special jeans. I even got a special matching denim coat, and um, and I still didn't feel like I fit in. Okay, I followed the rules of the game, and I still lost. Okay, like I followed the rules. I did well in school, and I got a degree. Nobody wanted to hire me. Okay, I did what I was supposed to do in the relationship, but I still got hurt. So after some time, I had fun with that little section there, you guys, of showing you what was around my desk. What do you keep around your desk? I'd love to know that. Um, and right now my desk is a mess, which is kind of strange because I purposely got rid of a whole bunch of stuff so my desk wouldn't be a mess. But anyways, we're all growing, aren't we? Okay. Hopefully you've reached that point in life as well, that we see the patterns of our mistakes. We see the beliefs that we had do not serve us. Being more is what is going to give us that happier, more peaceful, more fulfilled, satisfied feeling. Finally, satisfaction. Anytime that I've tried to eat more healthy, and I don't really eat poorly, but it usually comes with don't eat bread, which is a whole new thing now. Now they're saying bread is fine. But um, when I eat protein and lots of vegetables, I'm it's very difficult for me to get to that satiation, that feeling of contentment. I eat until what I think I'm full, and in 20 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm hungry again. Okay? That is exactly what happens with us when we believe the lies of more. We finally hit the perfect outfit, and yet we still aren't enough. Um, so let's talk about being more instead of having more, doing more. And what does it look like? What does it look like? I learned this from Kelly Brock, who I'll put her information down below. But the key to the whole peaceful, her program is called Peaceful Performer, and I align with it perfectly. The key to being more is winning the moments. Now, can we win all the moments? No. We are human. We forget. We can practice. It's one thing I like about this yoga thing that I'm doing. She always says yoga is not an arrival. Yoga is a practice. We can practice winning the moments, knowing that we're going to make some mistakes and be okay with that. Being more means doing less, wanting less. Then my first thought was, when I was learning about this, well, if I don't do more, won't I fall into laziness? Like, oh, I can be great sitting here staring at the TV. No, that's not what this is about. Being more is not about turning lazy and doing less. Being more is knowing your God. It was a really great quote. What did I do with that quote? This is from my Bible study, and I got this from the Solo Bible study book, and I'll put a link to that too in the show notes. But today, on day 25, it talked about reality versus God reality, and this was the quote: "Place where the place where your treasure is where you'll want to be most." So, is our treasure in dressing perfectly? Is our treasure in looking the part of the perfect mom / business owner? Is it having the same hairstyle to prove that we're worthy? Is it driving that car to show people that we are successful? Is it living in a certain neighborhood? Is it, where are we putting our treasure? Is our treasure having the latest iPhone? As much as we don't want to admit it, because it does, it feels terrible. Or is our treasure in knowing our God and delighting in growing a relationship with Him? That's being more. Being more accepting that we were made in His likeness and we reflect something about Him. Going back to my daughter, who's 11 and is very perceptive, she has been talking a lot about how she sees herself as compared to her friends. And I'm trying to think of when I realized that my job was not to live up to the standard my friends or the people that I admired were living, but to live up to the standard that God made me. Probably in my 30s. Probably. So accepting we were made in His likeness and we reflect something about Him. We're made in His likeness. We reflect something about Him. I reflect something about Him different than you reflect something about Him. He's given you different talents and skills and desires and strengths than He has me. And my job is not to live up to what you've been asked to do and how you reflect Him. My job is to live up to how I reflect Him. So take these gifts that he's given us. It's a chance to make his gifts glorious to him. It's almost like praise and worship. Like, look at what you've given me and look at how I get to reflect it back at you. It's almost like a way of worshiping him. I got to write that down. What's one thing that we can do to help with this journey? We can cut out the distractions, and it's so difficult, so difficult, so difficult, so difficult because there's so many things that are vying for our time. I think about sometimes, well, what if I was, 100 years ago and I was living on the farm that my great grandparents had? What kind of distractions would I have had? My job would have been to help with the farm. What kind of distractions would I have had on a farm in the middle of Wisconsin when I was asked to, I don't know, do a chore? Because there wasn't television, there was radio. Maybe I would have been distracted by the radio. You know what would have been the distraction? My own imagination. But imagination is great, right? Nowadays, we're teaching people you need to use your imagination. It's not just, it's constantly staring at something, but use your imagination. We are just so distracted. So distracted now. Simplicity, I believe, is the key. So, as difficult as it is, and as on top of it as we have to stay, cutting out distractions. So, when we're focused on our job, we have so much more joy and peace and trust and faith. Things start to come in more focused. And when you build this muscle, you can see the smoke and mirrors for what they really are. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. They're illusions to play to the fears of a 3-year-old hiding deep in your brain. Being more is not about what you do. We marinate ourselves in all of this self help. And I've been guilty of it too. We start the self help journey thinking that it's going to make us better and that, maybe we do gain some skills and our skills give us some different perspectives, but it's never cut and dry as read this book, get this life. We can read this book that talks about the perfect morning routine, thinking this is going to solve every issue that I have. And we're let down. And so what do? We buy another book. This is going to be the answer. And while they have some good ideas, self help, quote unquote, is not the answer. And so I really don't try to make myself as a self help person. I really want to be a teacher to teach you things based on the fact that we're all in the same boat. And I might be more willing to talk about it and pull back the curtain and focus on truth instead of the lies. Where was I? Okay, so yeah, it's not about following the plans that somebody sets out for you. All of our plans are going to be different. The step-by-step morning routine. If I can do this morning routine step by step, I will land that perfect job. I will make the 6 figures. It's trying something that you think will help you be your best each moment. Remember, winning the moments? And if it doesn't fit, take it off and try on something else. You'll know it when you find a good fit. It's like you're in the dressing room with a bunch of different outfits. And this outfit looked good on that model. And this outfit looked good on her friend. And this outfit looked good on the hanger. But none of them look good on you. And then when you find the perfect fit, you don't have to second guess it. Like, you know it. What do we say? This was made for me. But we have to be willing to try things, which is kind of the scary part, right? Being more meaning I am brave. I'm willing to step out. I'm willing to make a mistake and I know I'll be okay. That is being. It's being willing to live. That's so hopeful and that's so abundant. It's not surviving, it is thriving. I'm willing to make mistakes. I'm willing to try new things. And you know what? The best part of this, the best part of being willing to make mistakes and try new things and know that you're going to be okay on the other end, it makes for great stories. It could be embarrassing for me to say that I was so focused, middle school, high school, on wearing the right things. It might be embarrassing for you to admit that. I don't mind it because it was pretty silly, but it makes for a great story. And what do makes great stories make for? They encourage other people. Stories are so important. We be willing to live, to make mistakes, and to try new things. And I think that was probably my early 30s, maybe mid 30s, when I decided that it's okay. I'm going to make mistakes. What is it? I think I've done a video on this before. I went to this. Here's a funny story. I went to this camp. So this, what is his name? T. Harv Eker. He wrote a book called The Millionaire Mind. And um, in the back of the book, there was a free, what is that called? A free ticket to an event in the Dallas area. Just there happened to be one in the Dallas area. So I went, I brought my husband, and they give you the value, they teach you things. There was, hype, there was emotion, all this stuff. And then they offer you the chance to go to a different thing. And so I did that. I went to the different thing. And it's a super long story. I won't tell you the whole thing. Basically, one of the things that I learned at this different thing was the idea of ready, fire, aim. So how old was I? I was probably late 20s, early 30s. And the idea is if you waste all of your time aiming, putting the pressure of perfection on yourself, worried that you'll make a mistake, you're not going to get anywhere. That it really does pay to aim, to fire first and then aim. And wouldn't you say in life, that's so much more doable than ready, aim, fire, and expect perfection? Now, if you were a sniper, I'll give you a pass on that one. Ready, aim, fire is about the only thing you have. but if you're a normal human being, ready, fire, aim, readjust, fire, readjust, fire. Okay, so how does this pertain to our business, our businesses as women in the online space? That's a great question. How can we be more? Well, one of the things, going back to the very first point in this section, is knowing God. So I believe that He has a small voice, a still small voice, and we have to get quiet in order to hear it. Almost like we're sitting at His feet. And um, I've been learning about meditation for a couple years now. It's something I practice just like yoga. It's not that I'm perfect at it, but I give it a go and I cheer myself on. And just getting quiet is a powerful being more. Getting quiet and listening. And although it's probably not going to be audible, you'll know. You'll hear it. Just like that outfit that fits. You'll know. Finally, let's talk about gratitude. At the very beginning, I talked about the fact that gratitude has stronger vibrational frequency than love. And how can we expect to handle more when we can't take care of what we have? We can't be thankful for what we have. The want is negating the gratefulness, right? How are you when you first unwrap that Barbie when you're a little girl? Like, that's the best thing ever. That's the best thing ever. And after a while, you start to not be grateful for it anymore. Maybe she gets a little dirty. Maybe you decided to take some permanent marker and draw on her, not realizing how permanent marker worked. Um, we kind of lose the gratitude. And then we start the cycle all over want. But if we can stay in that gratitude, how much more happy we would be. Too much is given, much is expected. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm peeling off my gel nails. Long story. Okay. So we talked about the world's focus on more, the fact that the world plays to the mind of a 3-year-old in lack and scarcity and survival, and teaches us that more is the band aid that will fix the pain in our souls. And after a while, we start to see the pattern of the lies and we start to search for something more. And in working for yourself in your business, I pray in the grace filled and graceful way, I pray that what you're experiencing is different than anything you've experienced up until this point, and that it's more true and more real than the lies that we've believed up until this point, or maybe not too long ago. So, being more doesn't mean getting more, wanting more, having more. It's about our relationship with God and putting our treasure there, accepting that we're made in His likeness, cutting out the distraction, seeing that what the world offers is smoke and mirrors, not paying so much attention to what we're doing, trying to follow somebody else's success, but being willing to live, make mistakes, try new things, but above all, to be grateful for what we have. So, in wrapping up, I wanted to talk to you about confidence just briefly. Again, my daughter was talking to me about this jump rope thing. And her question to me was, why why could all the popular girls do this jumping a jump rope for a minute and I couldn't? And so there's all kinds of things. We're going to have a conversation about this later, but my question to her is going to be, what makes somebody popular from the eyes of an 11-year-old? And what exactly does that mean to her? And what if she is looking up to girls for certain traits? What are the traits that are attractive? And really, while we're here on the earth, our goal is to be salt and light. So, what would make us as female business owners that are serving a client, bottom line, how can we build that confidence? Because would you not say confidence is attractive? Pride and ownership is what I think of. Knowing that we're capable and we have the secret weapon in our corner. Confidence is what attracts people to us. And in the end, that's what we're called to do. Knowing that we are safe to do whatever it is, but more importantly, to be who we've been called to be. And being proud of the gift that He has given us to reflect back to Him, to be attractive to people. And we can do this through our business, through winning each moment, through learning about emotional strength. So, wrapping up, let's talk about some vocabulary words that I think I was going to say we should eliminate, but instead of eliminating it, why don't we just become aware of it? Aware that words have power and that we can use words. There's so many words, so many amazing words. Let's let's pay attention when we start to use words like I want that, I need that, I need you to do something. Enough is a tricky word. More, uh, I can't. The I can't is really the big one. Let's just pay attention to the words that we use. Let's just start there. We can have some victories called out next time. Paying attention to what we say to ourselves, what we say to others about more. Next week, I'm going to be talking about currently my favorite character in literature and how it relates to the person that I want to be for myself, for my family, for you. Um, and I wanted just to put that out there. Who it might not be somebody that you look up to in literature, it might be a character in a movie, somebody in real life. Who is it that you look up to in character? And the way you can describe this is it's not in what they do, it's who they are. It's their being. And what is that trait? What is that trait? I'd be anxious to know. Or how about this? I look forward to learning. So, thanks for hanging with us live on the podcast today. We're going to be live next time as well. And maybe we won't have a leaf blower and a vacuum cleaner and a dog join us next time. But I look forward to connecting with you then. And be sure to take a look at the show notes because there's a bunch of things that I promised that I would put in there. And it's all there for you. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.